My first question for you is, if you were to go back to when you were in either high school or college, what is the best piece of advice you would tell your younger self?
I would study something that'll put you on a path to a growing industry, whatever that industry is, by the time you get out.
What do you think is the best industry to get wealthy in 2022?
I think for now, industries are cybersecurity, data privacy, obviously, are huge. Fiber deployment for broadband, universal broadband, closing the digital divide, that's not going away. Social services, obviously, are much needed as well, but it depends on what you're good at, too. I mean, not everybody's good at the same thing.
Why cybersecurity? Is that in data privacy?
It's just a huge threat to every public company out there. You know, the bad guys are out there and they're trying to, and you need to put all your defenses up. So there's just a lot of resources and time going into cyber. You know, anything tech and social is still going to be big. Digital advertising is big.
What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Well, I got lucky. I grew up in the wireless business, cellular business, but I started like in 1986 when it was brand new.
That's amazing.
And so the advice would be, now it's not a fast growth industry anymore, but when I joined it was. Right. If you're going to get into business, it's fun to be growing.
Are you a business owner by any chance?
I'm not a business owner. I'm retired, but I do some board work.
Nice, yeah. And I guess you're an investor.
I am an investor.
What do you look for when you're investing in a company?
I look for industries that are solving a clear problem in my head for companies and that are in a growth space, and make sure I understand them.
From what you've seen, overseeing investing into companies, how can someone scale their business from 6 to 7 or 8 figures that you've seen throughout overseeing various companies?
I mean, if you get a good management team in a good space, you'll attract the attention of the venture guys. They're going to take their pound of flesh, but that's how the world works. And you just got to find people you trust and work with, and then get ready to change, because whatever you think is going to be right, probably going to be wrong, and you're going to have to pivot, as they say.
Absolutely. And one last question for you. Kind of a fun one we've been asking people. If you had to start from zero and you had 1 year to make $1 million and your life depended on it, what would you do with everything and everyone you know now?
Well, if you had to make $1 million in 1 year, you'd have to take a big risk. So I would probably source every bit of capital I could get from every friend I have and make a big bet on a growth company.
What industry?
For me, I'm a telecom guy. I'm a broadband guy. It'd be fiber deployment, rural access, closing the digital divide, that kind of stuff. But that's just me.
I absolutely love that. And I'll kind of follow up with this, though. But what would be your best piece of advice to someone starting out in the real world today?
I mean, just try a lot of things. I think I've got young kids that are starting the business world. So I always tell them, it's like early on, it's most important is to learn what you don't want to do. So try different things. You'll see what you like. And, early on, you have to find and move around a little bit. I went 4 or 5 jobs before I really got grounded. So you don't have to hit a home run first time at the plate, right? Yeah. If you go 3 for 10, you're hitting 300.
And the last question I asked you actually brought up about you take a big risk. What was the biggest risk that you took throughout your career?
Probably for me, it was relocating. So sometimes a lot of people don't want to move from where they are, and my wife and I relocated all over the country 6 or 7 times. So being willing to take the jobs that nobody else wants, and sometimes in the geography that nobody else wants, and then your consideration set is smaller.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Good luck,
Have a great day.